Oh, y'all can't see Vecna. There he is. Oh no, that's a demo. Oh, it's Vecna. Yay! A little bit of Stranger Things. Why did I bring up Stranger Things? Well, because the last season of Stranger Things. I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to put it out there on the internets of another potentially white hot take that we found during our watching of such the things. But I have a blue hot take on this. And it is specifically during the time when my guy right here, you see my boy right there? That's Will. Right there. Do you see him? There's him. There's him. Right there. Will. There is a lovely and quite interesting scene where my man, post the final sort of battle with the technically two big baddies of the show, Vecna and the Mindfleur. The Mindfleur. Vecna and the Mindfleur. He should have been called not Mind Flayer, the Mindfleur. So Vecna and the Mindfleur are the last ones. And post the battle, my guy right here comes out to his family and friends and some strangers, hence Stranger Things. I'm kidding. But he comes out principally because it has been hinted at that my man has been different. He comes out to his family and his friends and some strangers prior to the battle. This caused a nice little stir inside internet lands, media discourse, and granted, there's a significant problems and huge booty cracks in the story and the execution of the final season. Best of my current knowledge, in my view, that wasn't one of them. That's my blue hot take. A lot of people are saying it came out of nowhere. Why did he tell it all this and all that? My reasoning for this is why I think it was not out of nowhere. And with the caveat of saying maybe it could have been put somewhere else in the timeline of the show during like maybe the scene moved to one place or another, or maybe highly before. But I'm being a little generous to that. The reason I think it wasn't so out of place and why everybody needed to kind of be there for the most part is because I felt that my boy Will, who has been through some crazy damage the entirety of the show, who has experienced the upside down and the capabilities of the big baddie throughout all the show in probably the most unique way, right next to maybe 11, and even then I don't think so. Well, man has had a very unique experience with everything going on inside the upside down. Oh, the upside down. Can you imagine a bunch of puppies inside the upside down? They're not mean or nothing. They're little puppies. Or the little demi dogs are actually nice and they just want to play. Hey, our boy Dustin, he actually trains one by giving him baby Ruths. Ruth, baby, Ruth. Anyway, okay. I read this beautiful moment, which was, let me put it all to you out there real good. Let me put it out to you real solid. As far as for the nature of a scene of somebody just the pure circumstance alone of coming out based off of your sexuality and how scary a moment that can be and how cathartic it can be if your family shows you love during that time, if your friends show you love during that time, but you are still terrified of that particular thing. It was beautiful. Brought big ass booty tears. The tears come from my booty to my eyes. Pink eye for a week. No, but just it was tear inducing. Beautiful, lovely work. Why I didn't see it as unnecessary is because I have a feeling my man was being strategic, and also that fear didn't just carry around to being like accepted by his friends and family and stuff. This was a young man in his like mid-late teens coming out in the middle of the 80s. Scary time to do that. But also, we're dealing with a creature who knows how to go into the minds of anybody and use what that person either fears, gets mad at, just knows how to manipulate the cracks in your psyche. That is essentially the power of Vecna and the Mindfleur. I took it as my guy Will was trying to cover his bases. And it solidified with me when my lovely sponsor asked me a question. And I was like, good question. Here's what I can come up with and why I think the moment had way more weight than they might have allowed it to, and it's just from what I caught from the actual execution of it, is because my man Will is tied to the same kind of psychic kind of abilities and telekinetic and all kinds of things, the hive mind essentially to these creatures. And my fiance asked, what was Vecna gonna do? To which I responded with two schools of thought. One is absolutely Vecna, we're at war with, we don't know the full extent of Vecna's power. They probably didn't know. Granted, I understand that the execution full of holes and booty cracks. I understand. But they gotta play up the stakes. Writers gotta play up the stakes. They do not know how deep Vecna's power can go in manipulation and hallucination, using every bit of weakness to implant a vision in your head that can slow you down, distract you, kind of make you, weaken yourself in many forms. My man is like, that's one of his powers, is what he does. He's evil like that. Evil son of a bitch, killing poor cheerleaders and stuff. Damn, jackass. Freaking jackass. So yeah, my man Will was being extra cautious and just probably wanted to leave nothing surprising on the table. Hence he came out, even to strangers. Do I think it would have been like kind of funny and a little more endearing if the people who were like, oh, he's gay? Oh, okay, whatever. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad he's okay. Like, sure, not to take away from anything, but to punctuate the joke of like, hey, I'm a stranger. I just met this kid. I don't mind wherever his orientation is. Who cares? We have really big fish to fry, and he's going to essentially destroy the world. Dan. My second answer to that whole thing when she was like, what is Vecna going to do? And the part that actually chilled me the most was, we don't know. And that's the chilling part. What was Vecna gonna do? I don't know what Vecna could do. And that is the part where you just take the bullets out of his gun. William felt that was absolutely like a bullet he could probably use to him. And like I said, he's had a very special relationship with all the shenanigans going on in the Upside Down and stuff. Very weird, very unique amongst all the main characters. So I really saw it as like, yeah, certain, maybe the timing and the pacing and the execution or the placement of the particular scene could have been different. The sort of blocking and setup of it could have been different. I can contest to that, but the reasons absolutely are essential and necessary, especially in the realm narratively and given the stakes and the nervousness and the action, like the preparation to do battle with this creature, this person who gave his essentially his psyche to a cosmic, what might be eldritch, but basically very ancient evil creature. A lot of people say Lovecraftian. If you guys don't know Lovecraftian, it was like, think like the most popular author of cosmic horror. Like things out in the universe that are just beyond explanation. That's what this mind flayer is. And they're about to go fight this thing and try to kill it. Makes perfect sense to me why you would want to just, I have this thing that I want to tell everybody because it's scary. I don't want to lose my friends and family over this thing. Here you go. Everybody okay? And beautiful enough, everybody is. We move on to the battle and everything like that. That's my $2.85 on that topic because I thought it was actually quite beautiful. A beautiful thing inside of a very interesting, as much as like a bit of a fumble of a story. Also, as much, even though the last final episodes are like, over 2 hours long each, still enjoyable. Emotional payoffs were pretty good. Nowhere near, a lot of people would be like, is this the Game of Thrones? Is this like the most anticipated ending since Game of Thrones? And then they fucked it up like, no, again, chill the F out. Nowhere near as fumbled as Game of Thrones. No. Do I think they could have used a good amount of more episodes? Absolutely. The echoes through the hall are while they were even filming the season, they weren't done with the scripts, which I know is like, oh man, that's a scary way to go about doing one of the most successful franchise that Netflix has. I also know it's a lot of pressure, but also like, hey, why not take a few more months, get like some extra solid writers in the room and just really crank out a story. But hey, I never worked in the big time. I never did it, see? Never worked in the big offices. I've only ever worked in my tiny little office. Basically, it's a void full of blackness and confusion over here. Yep. But yeah, but absolutely, especially if you're a completionist, finish Stranger Things with all the sort of messiness and still a very fun, enjoyable things. It's fun to see like where the story is. It's always fun to see like where the story ends up, where your favorite characters might end up. Vader JS Big Sis says, I was sad when Bob died. Oh yeah, that's one of the saddest freaking deaths. I think unnecessary. Just like Billy, just like Eddie. It's okay. I'm okay. Sam is fine. Samwise Gamgee is fine. But yes, Bob's that one was tough. I was like, my poor guy. He's trying to do his best in this world where he has no idea technically what's going on. That's where that ends, my friends. And I did enjoy it. I did quite enjoy it, and I understand why it was a cultural phenomenon. I did happen to see it again way later. So I knew about some of the deaths, and I knew about like, the mystery wasn't fully there for me. Like as far as for what are demigorgons, what are demibats and everything. But other stuff, like I didn't understand the extent, or I had weird pieces, and then to finally get the full puzzle to put these pieces in was like, oh, okay, cool. Also, don't ever sleep on this pose. My goodness, whoever did this, whatever cinematographer, your director of photography and everything, they were mad cooking with this. My goodness, give them a raise. I hope they got a raise. Absolutely. Look at Will freaking cupping that power. Do it, Will. Hell yeah.